Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Luke 90 Bear, aka Luke Book Bear, and tonight I want to talk about and discuss Gemini, the Bitcoin BTC BCH cryptocurrency exchange located here in the US. Well, they're taking off or heading over to or expanding into the APAC region or the Asia Pacific region. While they still owe a lot of US customers a total of around 900 million US dollars, or really close to $1 billion. Now, Gemini, if you're not already familiar, they are a relatively large Bitcoin cryptocurrency exchange here in the U.S. They are similar in somewhat, or pardon me, the book bear is already getting tongue-tied and it's not even too late. You know what, let me give you today's date before we go on, and date and time. It is past midnight, which should not come as a big surprise. We make most of our videos around here in the middle of the night. It is 12:56 a.m., June 22nd, 2023. Now, Gemini, they are a relatively large cryptocurrency exchange here in the U.S. Pardon me. They are somewhat similar to Coinbase and Kraken in the sense that you can use your U.S. dollars to buy cryptocurrency, and you can also cash out your cryptocurrency back to your bank account. So, in other words, fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. Now, Gemini. Well, there's some good and there's some bad. Well, let's take a look at the good first. A couple of positive highlights from Gemini. They supported Bitcoin Cash BCH from just about the outset. If you had Bitcoin BTC in your exchange account in Gemini back in 2017, now I don't remember how long it took, but they credited your account with Bitcoin BCH. It may have taken a couple of months, but you got your Bitcoin Cash BCH. They did the same thing for pardon me, the boat bear is getting tongue tied. You know, I've got a drink here. Let me grab a quick drink and pardon me. Okay, book bear is refreshed and ready to proceed. They also supported Ethereum Classic and Ethereum back when there was a problem with the Ethereum blockchain, and I think it was 2016. And Ethereum had to fork just to continue Ethereum. Well, over here at Gemini, they supported. Well, originally they supported just the new fork of Ethereum, and not the original Ethereum, which is called Ethereum Classic now. But they did end up supporting both, or I should say, they credited accounts over at the exchange with Ethereum Classic also. So, a couple of positive highlights. Now let's move on to the bad. Well, unlike Coinbase and Kraken, if you want to get an account over here at Gemini, let's take a look at their landing page over here. You want to get an account over here? Well, they cater to both. Pardon me. They cater to both retail customers and also institutional customers. So, a retail investor, in other words, the common man, such as myself, and also institutional investors. You know, big. Well, I think you get the idea. Now, when you go to apply for an account over here, it's a little bit different than Coinbase and Kraken. You may not get approved. For one, they check your credit if they want to. So, a lot of people, for example, I know people personally who tried to get an account on Gemini back in 2016, 2017, around there, got denied. So it's a bit more difficult to get into Gemini. Now also fast forward I forget when they started doing it. It's called the Earn program. Gemini took in billions of dollars from U.S. customers for what was basically or essentially a mutual fund. Or that's my observation. And it was a partnership with Genesis. Basically, you loan your money through Gemini to Genesis, and both Gemini and Genesis, they invest your crypto, and hopefully you get a return on that. So in other words, it is a money mutual account or a mutual fund. In other words, well, no, a mutual fund. Let me give you a quick example. Several years ago, or no, it's been more than several years now, had a bank account with a large bank, not going to mention their name. Right inside my checking account online, I could press one button or click on one button and move my entire checking balance over into what they call a money mutual account, which is another word for a mutual fund. At that point, I could log in an hour later or the next day, and potentially all my funds could be lost or gone, and I could do nothing about it. And I also had a co-worker at the time who did the same. Well, I didn't do it myself, but had a co-worker who did go ahead and decide to do that, and end up losing a couple $100,000, which was all their money they had, to their money mutual fund or money. What? The book bears. It is getting late, getting a bit tongue tied. Now also the SEC came after Genesis and Gemini back in earlier this year. It was on January 12th, or this is the press release over the SEC, and this is from January 12th, 2023. Says the SEC charges Genesis and Gemini for unregistered offer and sale of crypto asset securities through the Gemini Earn lending program. So they took in billions of dollars. I'm not going to read this thing. I'm not even going to do an excerpt of it over here. If you'd like to, you can pause the video, or we'll provide the link in the video notes. So fast forward now, U.S. customers are still waiting on their frozen funds, and they're not frozen by the SEC. It's just that Genesis won't give the money back, and Gemini won't. They won't cover the customer's loss, even though it was both Gemini and Genesis doing the investing. So now, U.S. customers are out just about close to $1 billion. And now Gemini, they're moving on, in other words, to APAC. And let's take a look at the blog over here. It's at the Gemini.com exchange site. This is their blog. Here's their post from just a few days ago, June 19, 2023. It says, Gemini announces expansion plans into APAC, or in other words, the Asia Pacific region. Let's take a look at it. Read a bit of an excerpt of it, or a few excerpts of it. Now it says, we are excited to announce our expansion plans in APAC, as Gemini's leadership team recently visited the region on their global odyssey to propel the promise of crypto. Over the next 12 months, we plan to increase our headcount to 100 plus in Singapore. Our APAC expansion will also include an engineering base in India. Now, they done a blog about this too a couple months ago, and back in April, so just a couple of months ago. It says Gemini to expand global engineering and operation teams with new office in, however you pronounce this, in India. So not only is Gemini now moving their cryptocurrency exchange services over to Asia, or as they call it, expanding, they're also moving their developer teams, the people who develop on the exchange itself, and they've got a wallet and they've got a couple other products. So if you're a developer over there, or if you were a developer, just in general, the development teams, if you're coder, programmer, software engineer, developer, even just a product manager, well, your job, it may be over in India now, with new workers over in India. So let's I will link both articles in the video notes. Let's see. Let's read a bit more over here. It says our Singapore office will serve as a hub for larger APAC operations. We believe that APAC will be a great driver of the next wave of growth for crypto and Gemini. If you scroll down a bit, I don't know if you want to read this. It's just talking about their previous or ongoing support for Singapore. They've got their Singapore dollar, SGD, and also Hong Kong, Australia. Yeah. So I will link both of these in the video notes. Also their landing page over here. Also the SEC press release for the charges from the SEC. And also this case, as far as I know, as far as I know, this case is still going on. There's litigation today. The case has not been resolved yet. And okay, just a few more notes about Gemini. They basically support just a few coins, and the rest of what they offer is Ethereum tokens, or also a number of tokens on the Solana blockchain also. But as far as coins, they have Bitcoin BTC, Bitcoin Cash BCH. So they still support Bitcoin Cash BCH. So you got to give them that at least. Over here we love Bitcoin Cash BCH. This is a Bitcoin Cash BCH themed channel. So now they also support Litecoin, which I find that's interesting and encouraging. So LTC, and they also, of course, they support Ethereum. I'm not a huge fan of Ethereum at all, but I do understand there is a big demand for it, so you pretty much got to have it. And aside from that, well, they got their own stable coin called the Gemini dollar. I believe they also have Tether. And aside from that, they either have, I don't remember if it's Peercoin or if it's Filecoin, one of those, they have that. And the rest of them, as far as I know, they're all Ethereum tokens. There's a bunch of them. I think all together with the coins and tokens, I think there's about 80 tokens or 80 cryptocurrencies over here available. Now I think I don't want to drag this video out, so I think we're going to wrap it up. And again, it's past midnight, so Book Bear is going to get some rest. And I will be back later on today with a new video, most likely about Bitcoin Cash BCH. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.